How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the F1 2020 My Team Career Mode, where we're bringing Brabham back to the very top of Formula 1. In the last episode, it was the Spanish Grand Prix, and P12, which I actually thought was quite a decent result. I think I found the issue with the wing, something to do with the settings when I into the pit stops, which I obviously haven't seen, so hopefully that will be rectified for Monaco coming up, and we have a very special race in store. But before we get into the episode, in 1959, my grandfather Sir Jack Brabham won the Monaco Grand Prix and the F1 World Championship in 1959 for Cooper in the T51, beating the likes of Stirling Moss, Phill, just to name a few. To win one of the crown jewels on the F1 calendar, as all of you will know, is something incredibly special. So to commemorate that race in the Cooper T51 that Jack won the Monaco Grand Prix in, I've got a special livery to show you guys. And here it is. As you can see, we've got a blue and white livery with the white lines over the front, which is exactly what Jack drove at the time. And I thought we'd commemorate that livery in-game. And every time we go to Monaco, this is going to be our livery. And maybe if another livery pops up, we can use it at a different time. But it was the one that he raced with, it's the one that he won Monaco with, and that's what we're going to be using. And I think it looks really classic, but I think it looks amazing as well. Heading into the practice programs now, you can see our brand new livery in action on the track. I think it looks amazing. You guys let me know what you think of the new livery to commemorate Jack's win in the Cooper T51 in the 1959 Monaco Grand Prix. I got through the practice programs pretty well, getting my feel for the circuit and having a bit of an understanding of where I wanted to set up. I ran pretty high wing settings. I think I was 11.11 or whatever the highest wing setting is. It was basically a full wet setup, which really helped me through the corners. I know I was losing a little bit down the straights, but I'm actually okay with that around this circuit. I think it's not really a problem when you're trying to go through the tight corners, and it allowed me to limit my mistakes and was able to actually do pretty well. I think in practice 2 we were close in the top 10, which was, I think, a fantastic effort. Qualifying now, and it is wet, which threw a massive spanner in the works. You can see I did a banker lap, which was okay, but I ran maybe 3 or 4 laps on this run just to try and get a feel for the conditions and how the car was driving in these wet conditions here. You can see nearly a second up on that previous lap. I was just getting quicker and quicker and quicker, and I felt pretty comfortable. I was able to limit the slip on the tyres on the rear particularly, and as you can see, coming into the final corner now, nearly a second up on my banker lap. Even though I'm 9th at the moment, I think in the end we were top 5, I believe. So yeah, P4, fastest last sector, but as you can see here, I dropped back, did my second lap, and then I went out again for another run. And coming into the final corner, I made a few mistakes, and I probably wasn't as quick as I'd like to be, but I think we were about 2 tenths up on this lap. Yeah, you see, coming over the line, 2 tenths quicker in P11, and we've ended up, I think, finishing 10th, I want to say. Yeah, P10 after Q1, which I thought was a pretty good effort. Hamilton quickest so far, and the conditions were pretty tricky around this circuit. Walls are so close to you, and Mick P21, not the greatest effort from him, but it is what it is. Now coming into my second Q2 appearance, I think I felt really comfortable around this circuit, even in these conditions. The car was pretty hooked up. I was trying to make a few mistakes. It didn't really work out every now and again, but coming into the final section, I felt pretty good through that last sector in particular. There's a little bit where I felt a bit quicker than the AI, and then just limiting the slip on the tyres. I tried to not pull third too early and get a good exit. And as you can see, coming over the line, scrolling down, and we are P13 to start with, and then I've gone through it for another lap, and you'll see how much time I gain around this hairpin. It is crazy. I've braked way too late in the previous lap, and you can see once I got the car rotated, 4 tenths, nearly half a second quicker than the previous lap, and then I knew I had a chance here if I could carry on this lap as well as I had been. Now 6 tenths quicker, I was able to get up the grid and maybe, just maybe, get into Q3 for the first time. As I come round the final corner, made a little mistake, 7 tenths quicker on this lap alone. Checkered flag, so I didn't have any more time to do another lap. And we end up P6 in qualifying 2, and that means we're into our first Q3 appearance of the year, quicker than Ricciardo, Vettel, Norris and Perez. And I felt really comfortable, but once we got into this session, it was actually dry, And to begin with, the track was really slippery, so I really struggled to get the grip on the tyre. I thought I'd try and do 3 sets and try and just do 1 lap out, bang, next one, and try and see how quick I could go as the track changes were coming in so quickly. You can see a 118 there, fastest last sector, and then you'll be able to see how much the track evolved from that first run to the second run, already 2.5 tenths up, and rapidly getting quicker and quicker. Coming through this left-hander, now half a second, and as we head down the hill, it's nearly 7 tenths faster, and you can see fastest sector 1, fastest sector 2, and now I'm 2.5 seconds quicker, plus gaining time the whole way around the lap, and I ended up, I believe, in P1 to begin in this session at this moment in time, and you can see here, ahead of Hamilton, ahead of Bottas, us P1 after my second run, and unfortunately I didn't have enough time to complete my third run, and everyone went way quicker, and we ended up P10. But even still, to even be in Q3 was a massive effort, and it gave us a great chance to potentially get points in this Monaco Grand Prix.
Monte Carlo once again today, home to the world-famous Monte Carlo Casino, first opened in 1863. And of course, a certain road race, first held here in 1929. There's no greater an occasion, no more valuable a win than the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars climb around 40 metres up through Beau Rivage, onto the casino, and then descending down towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners here, 7 to the left and 11 to the right. There's one single DRS zone as well, so don't expect that to make overtaking any easier today. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Alexander Albon, and Ricciardo, Perez, Norris, Mr. Monaco, and Roman Grosjean, Sainz, Stroll, Kevin Magnussen, and Kvyat, Verstappen, Raikkonen, Pierre Gasly, and Esteban Ocon, Russell, Giovinazzi, Schumacher, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can
ready for the start of the Monaco Grand Prix. An amazing result in qualifying, to qualify in the top 10. Seems like Verstappen's penalties allow us to move up to 9th, which puts us on the inside for turn 1, which is fantastic for us. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a good start, get a good run through the first corner, stay nice and clean without any touching on anyone or damage. Obviously, those walls are so tight that you've got to be super careful, and hopefully we can have a good race. Heading to the strategy, the 2-stop seems to be quicker, but I'd like to get track position. It's so important around this track that it's so hard to overtake. If I can get myself up as far and go as long into the Grand Prix as possible, it's going to be really difficult for those behind me on a fresher set of tyres to even get past. So that's what we're going to go for. It's going to be a bit of a different strategy. I know quite a few people probably will go for the 2-stop, but I think track position's king here, and that's what we're going to go for. Start of the Monaco Grand Prix. Here we go, 5 red lights. And away we go. Had to back out of the throttle there. Managed to get past Albon. And hopefully we can get a good run up the hill in P7. Up the inside of Perez there. I didn't think I was going to make that move, but it was on. Super slow around the hairpin. Out of there, up into P6 at the start of this Monaco Grand Prix, up 3 places. Hopefully we can start to attack Ricciardo. This is a track I feel very comfortable at, which when I was playing on without a wheel, I felt extremely uncomfortable and always used to skip the race. It's a track I love, but on the pad I just found it really difficult, whereas now I've got a wheel, I'm absolutely loving this track, which I suppose shows how well I was doing in qualifying. I've got basically full wet setup. Got good pace in this race so far. Perez has dropped back a bit. I'm able to keep within DRS range of Danny Rick in front. Bit wide there, but that's fine. Trying to limit the amount of mistakes I'm having is the most important thing. Oh, he's got a little bit of oversteer there, and use my ERS. Maybe a chance into the chicane here. I'm just not close enough to make a move. You've got to be right up the back of someone to get away with that and make it up the inside there, almost alongside just before the braking zone. Oh, I just got a bit of oversteer there, that's a shame. But that's okay. Trying to sort my ERS out. We are quick. I'm feeling very comfortable. He's struggling for traction every now and again. I'm trying to save up my ERS for a bit later. I was running quite a high wing settings in qualifying, so maybe they're running a little bit less wing than I am in this Grand Prix. It's wet quali, but I'm losing a little bit in a straight line. Lost a bit of time through that little section there. That's okay. I'm pretty good through the last sector. You can get away with a bit, using a bit more curb through this section here. I nearly ran into the wall there. That was so close. As Perez is coming up to the back of us. Managed to gap Perez. I'm not really making any inroads on Ricciardo at the moment, but feel pretty good. I get that stopped back into DRS though, which is good. Help us out in a straight line a bit, use a bit of ERS. Start to feel the tyres going a little bit now. Pit window is coming up soon, and I'm hoping the decision to do the undercut, I'm really hoping that Danny Rick stays out a lap or two longer than we are and be able to get a bit of track position ahead of him. And if we can defend from there, gives us the opportunity. Oh, just like that. That's a great save, tell you what. Having to really push to keep up with him. He's just got a bit more pace than I do, unfortunately. But Perez has been gapped. I'm no longer trying to worry about him, which is great. Just trying to stay really smooth, nice and consistent. Limit the tyre slip on the surface of the track, because one mistake and we're in the wall. Pit window's open this lap, and I've brought this page up on the MFD because that's proof there I've got no wing damage. Now, if it comes up and I end up having to change wings, I'm going to be fuming. Right. You can see on the right hand side, no wing damage, just a bit of tyre wear, particularly on the rears, that's fine. But If I change wings here, I'm going to be... Okay, no wing there. That's good. Good pit stop. 2 seconds. You love to see it. That is amazing. That has put us in a great position. And hopefully we can get out in front of Mags. I'll use my ERS. Defend a little bit there as I went wide, but that's fine. And we should have more pace, fresh tyres. Now it's time to make use of this fresh set of tyres, try and get out ahead of Ricciardo when he makes his stop.
The gap to the car ahead is 2.2 seconds.
Can we make it? Come on. So tight through here. Oh, I didn't quite make it happen. Made a little bit of contact. Didn't pick up any damage. We're close though. ERS. We're not close enough. That may well be it. Barring any mistakes from Ricciardo.
The hard tyres, car ahead, now on the hard compound.
Just got a bit of oversteer out of the last corner. We are well ahead of Perez though. So it's going to be a battle to the line between me and the other Aussie, Ricciardo. Mick's just come in the pits.
Coming in for his stop, we're leading our teammate by 16.6 seconds.
I'm very good through here, so... Oh, just... I had to back out of that. Oversteer. I'll keep pushing. I want that top 5. Too much understeer there. He's got a bit of a break on us. He's got oversteer there again. Using up all my ERS. I just can't get close enough. Through here like this. Tell you what, I thought about it into the last corner. Really thought about it, but probably a good thing I didn't go for that, to be honest. I'm struggling to get close enough to Ricciardo. I have to really push hard and take time out of my tyres and the car, so I'm just waiting for a mistake or something to happen, because at the moment it's not coming to me. For flicking between DRS and no DRS, but just not getting close enough. Even with DRS, when I have it, I just can't get close to him. It's a shame. Like now, you'll be able to see, got a terrible exit. That's shocking for me. That is awful. The likelihood is he's going to the end as well, so gonna have to just keep trying to push. I'll keep pushing until right at the last moment, and I hope he makes a mistake or something. Safety car would be bloody amazing right now. Perez and Albon are actually catching me at the moment. Just dropped off my pace a little bit, making a few mistakes. I need to get back into a good rhythm. Bit of oversteer. 10 laps to go. And we can keep, even if we can keep this place, I'll be delighted. Starting to feel the tyres go off now. Getting more understeer, more oversteer as well. Having to try and manage that 6 to go. And Perez catching me a little bit every lap. It was 5 seconds and now it's 2. Got to really make sure I'm driving carefully. I've got so much understeer through there, and they are catching me at a decent rate of knots now. Got to be really on my game here. Be great if I was catching Ricciardo at the same time, but I'm not. Got Perez and Albon right behind, and I'm hoping I can keep them behind me till the end of this race as well. My pace with the tyres is dropping off quite considerably. We're coming on to the last lap now. We should be alright. I'm not that slow, just no mistakes.
This is your final lap of the race.
Smooth through there. One more. Round the bump. Second gear. Try and get it turned. Short shift. And into the lowest hairpin. It is called the Fairmont hairpin now, but I've always, when I was growing up, I always got told it was the lowest hairpin, so that's kind of what I call it. Hamilton wins the Monaco Grand Prix. He's always incredible around here in real life as well. They are right up behind me now. No mistakes here. Should be good now. Get it stopped and turned. Pushed a little bit, try and get on the power. Use my ERS and we'll be absolutely fine. And P6 in the Monaco Grand Prix. What a result that is. So happy with that. I felt comfortable from the first lap out in practice. Driver of the day as well. I'm not surprised. Qualified 10th, finished 6th. That was an unbelievable weekend. I'm so happy with that result. So happy with that result. As you can see the harbour there looking beautiful. Lewis Hamilton, the race winner, as always. He's winning a lot at the moment, much like real life, I suppose, which is relevant. So, team celebrating. What a one to win. It's the crown jewel of the Formula 1 calendar. And there we are, P6. Bloody delighted with that. Look at us. In our commemorative livery as well. And let me know what you think about the livery. Did you like it? It wasn't the most interesting race. There wasn't much going on. I was trying to catch Ricciardo and I thought I could get close to him, but we were so close coming out of the pits. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be 5th, but 6th place. Super, super happy with it. It was, the car felt pretty good. Only towards the end of the tyres started to drop off. So Hamilton from Bottas and Leclerc in his home Grand Prix. Nice to see they've got the Monaco trophy there being used rather than like a generic one, which is good. So there we have it, the end of the Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton winning from Valtteri Bottas, Charles Leclerc, Vettel and Ricciardo, and then myself in P6. 8 championship points for us and the team, which is massive going in to the rest of these remaining races because that's a huge haul of points for us. And we'll scroll down, see how Mick got on. Unfortunately, he was second last. He struggled quite heavily in that race. The car felt good to me, but maybe he put on a more standard setup. I changed the setup quite a bit. I went full downforce to try and give you as much grip through the corners as possible. And if we look at the standings, you can see we're now P14, and in the constructors, we are 8th, ahead of Haas, 8 more points to our tally. closing on AlphaTauri. I'm not sure we'll be able to beat them in the championship, but having said that, we're doing pretty good. Ahead of Magnussen, which is really important, and ahead of Gasly, who is our he's not our official rival, but to me he is, considering how many times he's hit us off. There we have it, P6, and let's get into the highlights. Start of the race, I got a good start, had to back out of the throttle a little bit, had nowhere to go, such a tight, tricky opening lap, but one of the Red Bulls, Albon, got a terrible start, and I was able to make my way up the inside, and that's where Ricciardo got ahead of us, unfortunately. Make on our way through ahead of Perez, and this was kind of it for the whole of the race. I felt like we had decent pace. I was closing on Danny Rick a reasonable amount, but not enough. With our commemorative livery, like I said before, let me know what you guys thought of it. We can always change it later on, but it resembles the one that Jack drove when he won round Monaco himself, so I feel like it's a good one to have, and it's something a little bit different for a special Grand Prix that's close to everyone, and it's a beautiful track and a beautiful place to go as well. It's such a special arena for a Formula 1 Grand Prix, and to see these cars around this track is so amazing. Getting close to Ricciardo, I just didn't have enough. I was thinking about a move, but over those curbs you can cut a fair bit of that, to be fair, which helps with the pace a little bit. Over that one there, I was struggling really quite a lot out of here. See, a little bit of oversteer there, and that was about it for the race. I really struggled to have much more pace than Ricciardo did. I don't expect to, but it's just the way the race went. Perez towards the end of the Grand Prix had a lot more pace than I did, with Albon right behind him, but luckily we were able to keep them behind. You can see them coming in the background there as we head through the tunnel. See, coming through, they were right behind me, coming through this quick section, through the swimming pool, through the right, through the left, and again, and then coming round the final corner. Checkered flag, P6 for us. A fantastic result I'm delighted with. Okay, so it's time to potentially renew our sponsors. So I'm going to go manage sponsors and see what we've got. Maybe we can change sponsors. The boosts are going to go up quite a bit. We'll get more of a gold bonus and more of a weekly income. So I'm going to have a little look through and see where we'll end up and what we can do with different contracts. Because if we can bring more money in than our previous sponsors, then that's what we're going to have to do. So I'm looking at pay night, and it says achieve a top 12 finish during the race. Their gold bonus is 200k, and the weekly bonus is pretty good as well, 159k. So I think I'm going to go for them. I think a top 12 finish is achievable. We've got 98 days to do it as well. So I think with that weekly income of 150k, 160k is going to be really important to bring in that cash, but also the gold bonus is pretty good in comparison to the others, but equally a top 12 finish is achievable for us. Now for our second sponsor, for our secondary sponsor, I'm going to go with Alkanese Energy. Complete a weekend without colliding with another vehicle, definitely achievable. Gold bonus is 200k, and our weekly income there is 163k. It's definitely an achievable goal, and the gold bonus and the weekly income is very high up as well, without being too unrealistic a goal to achieve. And as you can see in the top right hand corner, our weekly income is now 751k, where it was close to 400. So hopefully that'll help us bring that in. And I know soon enough we've got to make a decision on our teammate and either renew Mick's contract or choose somebody else. Heading into the R&D page now, I'd like to make a couple of upgrades. Firstly, front wing main flap. That's going to be really important. It's going to help our front downforce and boost us ahead of Alfa Romeo and get us really close to Haas. We're also going to do a roll dampers upgrade. It's going to boost us a little bit, but I want to really improve this chassis. Our engine is pretty good at the moment, and we've got just enough to make this upgrade happen, and hopefully this will help us get up the grid and continue to get points on the board. And that is where I'm going to leave the video for today. An amazing result in P6 at the Monaco Grand Prix with our special commemorative livery for Jack's win in 1959 in the Cooper T51. Thank you ever so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support on the videos. I'm really happy with everyone commenting in the comment section as well. Engage with the series. I'm really enjoying it. It's so much fun, and I'm really loving bringing Brabham back to the top of Formula 1. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and I really appreciate all of that support. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.